welcome to a new video, and today I'm looking at the latest DLC for RFactor 2. Now this is paid DLC and it can be bought either as individual items or in two differing packs. The packs are either all the content that I'm going to cover or Daytona with the M4 and the Ligier and not the IndyCars. Okay, best value option is to get the lot, which if I remember correctly was around about £14, and we'll talk a bit more about that afterwards. So what you get for your money is Daytona International Speedway with two layouts, the oval and the road course. That's the Rolex road course for the 24 hours, not the NASCAR layout. You get the Dallara IR18 IndyCar and the Ligier JS P320 P3 Prototype and the BMW M4 GT3. So that's what you get. Let's start breaking this down and having a look at individual pieces within here. So starting with the track, Daytona's always been a popular track, both in terms of oval and its road course layouts, and it's one that I like, and this drives like a nicely put together version of it. It's got a solidly detailed road mesh, as you would expect from a full laser scan. It seems reasonably well optimized. I've not run it in VR yet, so I do want to add that caveat in, but on flat screen, yep, seems reasonably well optimized. I did find that the AI does seem to be a little slower than normal around it, and some people I've read have complained that the AI can have issues in the pit lane. Now, I've not come across that myself yet, but I'm certainly not going to discount or dismiss it. Overall, however, it's a great track and one that I'm enjoying a lot. It's got reasonably good day-to-night transitions in it, it's fun to drive, and at the end of the day, it's Daytona. It's an iconic location to add to RFactor 2's roster. So yeah, it's good fun. Moving on to the cars, first up we have the Dallara IR18 IndyCar, and we get all of the teams, drivers and liveries from the 2021 IndyCar series. So it allows you to recreate the full grid from last season if you wish to. Car itself is apparently on the new RFactor 2 tyre model, and it does feel great, in all honesty. You can feel a lot going on through the tyres. I did have to dial down the force feedback myself as default. I found it way too high for my liking, but knocking it back to I think around about 85% did the job for me. You get loads of feel from it, particularly as you hit the high aero, and the load from the banking at Daytona feels great through it. You get 4 aero packages, as you would expect in RFactor 2, with road, short oval, oval and Indy 500 to pick from, as well as the ability to adjust the opacity of the halo column, which is important if you're not running in VR, which is a great option to see. So in terms of the packages that you can run it in, a lot of good choice in there, and I'm not the biggest fan of open wheel car racing, not in terms of sim racing anyway, but it's a nice car and I can see the appeal behind it. It's a well done version of it, and it does look as though Studio 397 are going to be using it quite heavily. There is, I think it's the 9th of February, so tomorrow actually, the date I'm recording this, there is a special event with a selection of drivers from the IndyCar series taking part in that, and they're going to be running a load of events through the online competition system around it as well. So quite a bit themed around IndyCar in RFactor 2 at the present moment. We then get on to the Ligier JS P320, which as I mentioned earlier is a P3 prototype, again with a full complement of teams and liveries, and the car itself is a great introduction to prototypes. It won every major US event on the endurance calendar last year, so 2021, including the 24 Hours of Daytona, and the car really does feel at home on the newly released track. The P320 is arguably the perfect car to try out at Daytona, having a great balance of aero and mechanical grip to get the most out of the track, and you really can feel the surface detail through it. Of the cars in the pack, it's my personal pick. Really enjoyed the Ligier, so yeah, great fun on that one. That's not, however, to say that the final car in our pack, the BMW M4 GT3, isn't the solid entry. Far from it. So the M4 GT3, which in real world GT3 is BMW's replacement for its M6 GT3 car, is pretty much the new darling of the GT3 world, and it's popping up in titles left, right and centre, either as official content or as a mod. So its inclusion in the RFactor 2 roster was only really a matter of time. And it's everything you would expect from a GT3 car. It's approachable, it's predictable, and it really does build your confidence. And again, it's a car that feels solid around Daytona. Just about the only thing, in all honesty, about the M4 that's likely to divide opinions is its looks, because that front end isn't for everybody, shall we say. So yeah, that's the Q1 2020 content release for RFactor 2 and what we get for our money. For me, it's a solid package to put out. I think it offers a good range of car types. So, you know, you've got a GT3 in there, you've got a prototype, and you've got an open wheeler in there. And they're good packages in terms of the individual cars that have been put together, and you've also got a track that is pretty much universally loved, even by people who are not big oval fans. So the end result is a nicely themed pack that offers something for the vast majority of sim racers. So yeah, well done to Studio 397. I think overall it's a solid release. So yeah, that's my thoughts on the Q1 2022 drop for RFactor 2. And one thing to keep in mind is this apparently is how Studio 397 are going to be doing content drops going forward. They're not going to trickle them out as individual items as they have done in the past, but rather they're looking to have a content drop each quarter throughout the year. So expect it to be more like this going forward. It's going to make my life a little bit easier talking about them anyway. So yeah, that's my thoughts on it. If you've played around with any of this or you've got any thoughts on it yourself, please do drop them in the comments down below. And if you've enjoyed this video, please do hit the like button, and if you want to see more content like this, please do subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon to be notified when new content gets uploaded. Thanks very much. Take care. Bye.